3 years ago, I moved to a country on the other side of the world because I was tired of the life I was living. I have had jobs, survived cultural shocks, and learned lessons that I never expected. Let me tell you what it's really like living abroad. Hi, my name is Aayushi and I have lived and studied in Canada and UK over past 3 years. Today I'm gonna answer most frequently asked questions and get to share the highs, lows, and the real life as an international student. So let's get straight into today's video. I'm gonna start with the most important questions that everyone asks me in my comment section in my DM is accommodation, whether to live on campus, off campus, how to find, what are the costs, how to decide where to live abroad. And my answer to that question is it all depends on your preferences. Do you have the budget? Do you not have the budget? Based on my experience, I have lived both on and off campus and I had the most fun living on campus because it's easier to make friends as someone who just moved to a new country and knows nobody. Still get your peace, your solitude, feel less homesick because you are on campus and you see students like you maybe from the same culture, same country. You get exposed to different cultures so you understand, gain knowledge and learn more about different cultures. I would say the only platform I would recommend anyone to find student accommodation internationally, no matter which country you're moving US, you're moving Canada, you're moving Australia, wherever you're moving, I would recommend you checking out Amber Students. Hassle free, they are easy, they're convenient. Best part about them is that all their properties are including utilities and extra bills that usually comes up as a surprise and cost sometimes a lot more than you would expect them. They have 24/7 support system on their app, so you can reach out no matter what time of the day you are. There's always someone to help you and hear your concerns. They have great options, whether you're looking for accommodation more closer to the university or more closer to the city. They got everyone, whether you're someone who wants to live alone, your own en-suite room, or you're someone who wants to share. They got all the options no matter which city you're going, which country you're going. To be honest, I would rather go through a platform which has all the knowledge and has been there and knows ins and outs of a country that I have not known. Even though you research a lot, there are certain things you cannot know unless you experience it. And one of the biggest advantage of going through Amber Students is that in a lot of countries abroad, when you're looking for renting, they usually need you to have a guarantor who has to be a citizen. You need to have certain income, and as an international student you won't have an income to show. Even though you had work in your own country, they don't consider it. So it's much student friendly, student centric options. They take great care of their students. I'm not the only one. It's such a great experience. There are hundreds and thousands of students who have used Amber and you can look at their reviews. Make sure to check it out. A link in my description, and they right now have a great deal, £20 off when you book through this link, and I would highly recommend checking them out right now because as closer you get to intake, places fly away because of the lack of resources and accommodation. And check out Amber Student and get your home away from home. Now I'm gonna answer all my questions regarding University of Hertfordshire. That's where I did my masters in UK, and I'm gonna answer all the questions that I've seen regarding the university. So to give you a little context, I graduated from University of Hertfordshire 2024 with a master's in business psychology. I got tons of questions. How is a particular MBA, MSc course in data analytics, hospitality, business management, international project management? I don't know. You need to do your own research. And University of Hertfordshire website is so accessible and so easy. You can literally go to their website, look at the course content, and you know exactly what you're gonna study, how you're gonna be graded, and what kind of rank they hold in overall UK. As easy as that. Pro tip when it comes to choosing the right university, looking at the ranks they have, what is something that they're best at. University of Hertfordshire met my needs and that's why I went for university. And another thing I would recommend is connecting with alumni of the same course you want to pursue. So you can find them on LinkedIn, Facebook. Actually look at Instagram pages for University of Hertfordshire, so they have separate pages for separate schools. Another big question I've seen a lot of people ask about part-time jobs, job opportunities around University of Hertfordshire. So let me make it very clear. University of Hertfordshire is based in Hatfield. It's a small town 1 hour north to London. The opportunities for part-time jobs is really small. I would say the opportunities are there, but they are not that many that it can accommodate every other student that lives in or near University of Hertfordshire. They have one town center, they have one Galleria mall, they have couple different stores that are there. The better chance you have of getting job is near London, Watford or Luton. That's where most of the university students end up having jobs. So yeah, all those places are accessible. Get direct buses from campus. Can I give details on how an MBA is being assessed, like exams or assignments. Again, I don't know, I didn't do it. And to be honest, a lot of different courses are assessed differently. There is no universal assessment that they have, but I did have friends who did an MBA and they had both assignments, written exams for there. However, for my course, which was an MSc, had only assignments and we had a thesis. So there were a lot of questions about facilities and kitchen when it comes to student accommodation. So let me make it clear. So the kitchen is usually shared between a flat. I lived in Welland Hall, which was on the De Havilland campus. Each floor had 2 flats and one flat had 12 people living in it. And all 12 people share one kitchen. So the kitchen is huge. It has 2 hobs, 2 ovens, 2 separate sinks, lots and lots of storage so that everyone has access to at least 1 or 2 cupboards itself. They had 2 freezers in the kitchen as well, so everyone can have at least 1 compartment. They had ample of sitting space so that if you wanna have friends over, you can still have them. But in your room itself, you would have a mini fridge, and that also has a small compartment for freezer. So yeah, you bring your own utensils. Ideally, 12 of you would pitch in and get cleaning supplies. But they also had a weekly kitchen assessment. So if you get a red star or a red mark more than twice or thrice, you all get penalized and you all have to pay certain amount of money because it's not up to the marks. They do deep cleaning once a year around December for you. It's for free. I saw a lot of comments asking is a curfew on what is the last time you can enter campus. There's nothing like that. This is not India. Doesn't matter whether you live in all female flat or you live in a mixed cohort. There are no rules. You can walk out on the campus whatever time you want. You can get in whatever time you want. They have 24-hour security as well on campus, so there are a lot of guards securing the place just to make sure everyone's safe. There is a gray line on having friends over and doing night stays. So technically, you are supposed to let the accommodation office know if somebody is gonna live in your room for over a couple of days or something like that. But realistically, nobody's gonna come and check that. So you can have people over as long as nobody goes and complains about you. You're all good. Another big important question is which campus is better? Is it the College Lane? Is it De Havilland? Both campuses have different personalities altogether. College Lane is more fun, more young, more happening because college campus, so they have their own the pub, the club, it has everything. So as you can guess, it's really popping place. A lot more students accommodate in that campus. De Havilland is more quiet. It's more mature campus. A lot of mature students live there. A lot of master students end up living on that side of the campus because they have the law building, they have the business building. So a lot of students who actually study in DHAV end up being in DHAV, but that is not true. In my class, we had some people living in DHAV and people living on College Lane. There is a shuttle that goes between both the campuses every half an hour, I would say, so it's free, so you can take that. But in my opinion, College Lane was more happening place. There was a lot of things good and bad happening. It would be more parties, more gatherings. They had better sports ground and stuff, so you would end up finding people playing sports, meeting around, hanging out on College Lane. And De Havilland didn't had a lot of those facilities. We didn't have a recreational center. We just had a small recreational room for College Lane. Each building had their own recreational room, so there was pool table, places to sit and hang out, have your coffee, read your books. If you're someone who's younger, around 18, 19 or whatever age, and you want more fun, more happening, more events, but a lot of those, do not want to miss out, do not like FOMO, go for College Lane. How many classes in a week? That again depends on the course you have. So for me, it was thrice a week, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. I had people for whom it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, that was common questions I have got. Now I'm gonna talk about everything about Canada, because I did live there, say 14-15 months in Canada as well. One of the most common questions I get, what was the reason? Because Canada, back when I moved in 2022. So basically why I moved out from Toronto, Canada, was that I was not happy there. Like millions of people starting moving to Canada because it was easier to get. It was a lot cheaper than a lot of countries like UK and US. It had highest acceptance rate. The route to PR and citizenship is the shortest. And I never went with the intention to settle down. The job market sucked in 2023 when I moved out, and my goal was to get a master's degree. And with this degree being a very new industry, there is certainly no university in Canada that actually offers the degree I want to do. On and off, I was not feeling it. So I would say a couple of months into the country, I knew I'm not gonna live there. So that is the reason I left. It went downhill from the day I left in Canada. Things are rough over there, and I do not regret that decision at all, and I'm so happy I left. About my food basics job as a cashier, what kind of skills are they looking for? They were asking me what kind of software are they using. Basic till system, there is no software. You simply scan and you remember certain codes for your fruits, vegetables, voiding, unvoiding. It's a pretty basic mind-numbing jobs. That what cashier job is. How did I get a job? My cousin used to work at Food Basics, so he referred me and they end up getting me. Likely to hire you, then you just randomly going and giving your CV. But with that being said, only way to get a part-time job in Canada is either through applying their website portals or physically going to each and every shop near you, near wherever you want to do a job, and physically going and giving your CVs. 8 out of 10 times they are gonna throw it in a bin or nothing's gonna happen, but there is still 20% chance that you might get a job. And that's how I got my another job, where I worked in a convenience store and I single-handedly managed a convenience store on my own. That's how I got my cash job, and that's how I could make enough money to move here. So that's how I got a cashier job. It was fun. It was physically draining because stand up the entire shift. You have 6 to 8 hours a day and you simply scan a lot of heavy stuff, lift them, put them, let people check out. Somebody asked me, I want to go to Canada, cashier job visa. Please help me and advise me. As far as I know, you cannot do that. There's no company out there unless you have a relative who created their own business and then sponsoring your visa. But none of these big companies, Walmart, Food Basics, they do not do that because they don't need to. They have a lot of international students anyway working for them. And yeah, or you get a promotion from cashier job to supervisor, and you do get a promotion from cashier to a supervisor. You just need to be very well aware of all the rules, regulations, what to do, what not to do. You can let your manager know that you want to be trained as that. Is there a salary hike? No, it's same salary, double work that you end up doing as a supervisor. As a student, you are restricted on a 20 hours a week, so they would ideally not take you as a supervisor unless you are on your work visa. And the last question is, what would I do differently if I was starting over? If I could tell something to my 22-year-old self who decided to move out, I would say don't do what everyone's doing because it's easier, and also you're not gonna figure out everything in one day. And that's what I really struggled with in the beginning, because the decision to leave Canada and move to UK is a tough decision. No one was doing that. Now you see a lot of people leaving Canada and Toronto. People thought I was crazy for doing that. I would say just do what you think it's right and you feel it's right. And if you feel like moving back home, do it. There's nothing wrong in it. Just remember, you did not move from your home to work as a cashier, and you didn't work here just so that live paycheck to paycheck. You came here for experiences, for opportunities, and I hope you get that. And if you don't, there is no shame in not getting visa. There is no shame in getting PR. It's just a life. At least you had those couple of years of experiences which you will cherish forever, and it has led to a lot of personal development which a lot of companies will recognize and appreciate you. I have documented my entire 3-year journey on YouTube, so if you wanna check out, feel free to do it. I have my entire journey for Canada, I have my entire journey for UK. Whatever you wanna see, just see. I also do daily vlogs. If you wanna see what I do in my life, what's my life now that I'm not a student, I'm a working professional, how's my life in UK as someone who works 9 to 5, you can check out my vlog. Have any more questions, don't forget to drop them in the comments box below so that I can answer them, and I'll try my best to help you out and give you any advice that I think is useful. And yeah, with that, we have come to end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.